Hey there. What are 7 healthy foods for under $20 for diabetes and pre-diabetes? Let's get right to it. First on our list is avocados. Avocados are a healthy food packed with nourishments and nutrients. Really tasty and delicious. But before we dive into the benefits of avocados, here's a fun question. Are avocados a fruit or vegetable?
Okay, what is it?
I wonder if you know. I don't think the answer is obvious here. I'll answer this question later. All right, so let's take a look at the wonderful benefits of avocados for healthy blood sugar control and regulation. All right, let me share my screen. Just a second to switch over. Okay, so as we look at avocados for their nutrient value, it's pretty amazing, right? Avocados give us a lot of bang for the buck, so to speak, and they're relatively small as the particular kind of food type they are. They have lots of vitamins, they have minerals, they have lots of fiber. 27%, in fact, of your daily value of fiber can come from an avocado. I don't think that's obvious either in terms of how this particular food presents. You can get 23% of your fat here, right? So roughly a quarter fat, a quarter of your dietary fiber needs. Tiny amount of carbohydrate, 3%, negligible. Protein, 4%, right? Again, negligible, not much. You get a substantial pack, though, in terms of the B vitamins, vitamin B1, B2, and B3, B5, B6, and B9. You also get plenty of other vitamins, including, not surprisingly, fat-soluble vitamins like vitamin E and vitamin K. You get vitamin C, which is water-soluble, and then we get our minerals, right? Copper, potassium, magnesium, zinc, phosphorus, iron, and calcium. So much goodness in this one piece of fruit. Okay, so with that in mind, right, avocados truly, they are packed with nutrients. It's an amazing food and a friend to people who want to achieve and sustain healthy blood sugar levels. Avocados are tasty and they have plenty of dietary fiber, and of course, they are a healthy source of fat in our diet. They contain very little protein, very little carbohydrate. Their carb content primarily comes from the amount of fiber that they have, which is more than you might expect from this particular kind of food. Now, with all these other nutrients that they provide, they also give us lutein, beta-carotene, and omega-3 fatty acids. All of these are very important. Now, avocados help us to feel full. That's right, to feel satisfied after we eat them, which is important. People who have diabetes or who are struggling with their blood sugar in general often don't feel full when they eat. They don't get good signaling and say, hey, I've had enough to eat. So it's important to focus on foods that are filling, that taste good, and that can help you to avoid overeating. This supports good portion control and makes it easier to be consistent with healthy food choices. All right, now let's take a look at the nutrition facts for avocados. Now, this is based on half an avocado, about a size or an amount of about 100 grams, to give us about 160 calories, etc. So that's the portion here. This information is provided by the USDA. Let me share my screen. All right, so the amount of calories from avocado we get, 160, that's for approximately half of an avocado of a medium size. And when you look at this amount, the balance of what we're getting here, for instance, if you've got issues with blood pressure, potassium in avocados is helpful. If you're looking to have wound healing, skin healing, etc., vitamin C and vitamin E are present here. If you're looking to avoid muscle cramping, you've got both potassium and magnesium. So there's just a lot of benefit to be gotten from eating an avocado. Some other good things to know about this amazing wonder fruit. We keep this in mind that the glycemic index, in other words, the sugar impact on your blood sugar, is estimated to be around 0 for avocados, making it a super low glycemic food. So the glycemic index is just about 0. Some other things to know is that as a whole, avocados provide roughly 30 grams of fat. This is a medium-sized avocado. Most of it is going to be 20 grams or so of monounsaturated fat and 3.6 grams of polyunsaturated fat. You just get 4.2 grams of saturated fat. So it's a nice balance of the different kinds of fats. So that should be a safe thing to eat for most people. Now the MUFAs, M-U-F-A, monounsaturated fatty acids, these come from plant sources and they are liquid at room temperature, but they start to thicken when they're chilled. So if you have an oil at room temperature and it starts to get thick, when you chill it, right, its composition can change. So these monounsaturated fatty acids, they can be helpful in lowering the bad kind of cholesterol, or LDL cholesterol, also known as low density lipoprotein cholesterol. Now, for this reason, the American Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics recommends that you choose foods with monounsaturated fats instead of saturated fat. However, if we think about it, for our ancestors back in the day, they ate a lot more saturated fat, and there was a lower incidence of heart disease. So I think you have to weigh the advice versus what's the results for your particular health. Now, with that in mind, let's keep this going. All right. So to prevent an avocado from going brown once you open it, you want to leave its pit or stone inside the rest of the avocado until you finish eating it. If you see this one, it has the pit or the stone right there because we're not done eating it. This can typically help keep it from going brown or spoiling until you finish using it. Now, when it gets a thin layer of brownness because it's oxidized, that doesn't necessarily mean that the avocado is bad. But if you leave the pit in before you're done, then you're really going to help slow down any kind of oxidative processes. It makes a big difference. Try it for yourself if you want to see this work. The change in color only happens as the flesh of the avocado is exposed to the air and it oxidizes. That's why it can change on the inside from a green to a brown color. All right, here's another tip. To prevent an avocado from going brown once you open it, you can add lime or lemon juice. Just give a little squeeze over the top to keep it from browning and oxidizing. And here's one more tip. To ripen an unripe avocado quickly. You know, sometimes you get it from the store and they're as hard as a baseball bat, right? Place it in a brown paper bag with an apple or a banana for 2 to 3 days. You can also freeze the avocado, but it might change the texture of the fruit. I don't recommend freezing avocados if you can avoid it. Now, here's the final tip. I get asked this one a lot. How do I know if an avocado is ripe or too ripe? When you go to select an avocado, give it a gentle squeeze, feeling it if it gives just a little when you give it that squeeze. If it does give a little, it is ripe. If the avocado is squishy, if it feels really soft, like too soft and mushy, it is likely overripe, and so leave it at the store. Now, if it's rock hard, you might want to wait 2 to 3 days before eating it, as it's likely not quite ripe yet. So please be kind, though, when you are testing if an avocado is ripe. Don't give it a really hard crushing squeeze, as the person or market that's trying to sell this product doesn't want you to bruise the avocados that they have out for sale and make them spoil early, okay? Let's play nice. All right, we did right by avocados for sure. Now, earlier I asked you a fun question. Are avocados a fruit or a vegetable? Okay.
Drum roll, please.
Technically, avocados are a fruit. Did you already know that?
I knew it!
Years ago, when my mother-in-law shared with me that avocados were a fruit, I was really surprised. She was a botanist by training. She had a master's of science in botany, and I learned so much from her. I miss her. All right, next up, we're going to talk about chickpeas. That's right, something that can be a primary ingredient for foods like hummus and falafel. So chickpeas are also known as garbanzo beans. It's one of my favorite foods of all time. These contain a moderate number of calories, providing about, for each cup, 269 calories per cup. Approximately 2/3 of these calories come from carbs, while the rest is from protein and fat. Chickpeas are inexpensive, very budget-friendly, and take on the flavor of the other foods in a meal. Chickpeas also provide a variety of vitamins and minerals, as well as a decent amount of fiber and protein. A 1 cup, or 164-gram, serving of cooked chickpeas can offer, now let me switch screens so you can see. All right. So we're going to get 14.5 grams out of that amount, 4 grams of fat, 45 grams of carbs, 12.5 grams of fiber. So it's beautiful to see the fiber paired here with the carbohydrates, right? That's going to be a blood sugar friend. That's a helpful kind of relationship, particularly if you're a plant-based eater. This is important. Similarly, you get a nice amount of protein too. You get some trace minerals too, like manganese. That's really lovely to see. And then for folate, also known as vitamin B9, you get more than 2/3 of your daily value this way. Copper, almost 2/3 of the daily value. Zinc and iron at about 25% or a quarter of your daily value, and phosphorus coming in at about 20%. Magnesium's also here too. If you struggle with muscle cramping, things of that nature, you're trying to do things that help support your nervous system and your moods, magnesium is your friend. Thiamine, a B vitamin, 16%. B6, 13%. Selenium, 11% of your daily value. If you have arthritis, if you have joint aches and pains, etc., this is all so good to know. Potassium, if you're struggling with cramping, 10% of the daily value. Okay? All right, let me stop my share. Let's continue. Now, this combination of the fiber and protein that's naturally found in chickpeas may help you to feel full and to help avoid snacking or overeating. So chickpeas are a friend to healthfulness. If you're a plant-based eater or otherwise want these healthy options, chickpeas are a great nutrition partner. The protein and fiber also work together in another way, friends. They work together to slow digestion, which helps to contribute to feeling full for longer. So important, right? People feel full for longer, they're less likely to overeat and they're less likely to want to snack. This is really critical for good blood sugar control if you have type 2 diabetes, pre-diabetes, metabolic disorders, polycystic ovarian syndrome, etc. Okay? This is something that quite a number of pharmaceutical medications do as part of the functions of these particular prescription drugs for diabetes. You could get this quite naturally from chickpeas. This feeling of a comfortable kind of fullness of satiation can also lead to eating fewer calories overall, aiding in better control of portions. This way you're not struggling with that. And chickpeas can also lead to a reduction in appetite. Again, another win, which is helpful when working on blood sugar issues. More research is needed in general on chickpeas specifically and their ability to help people control their appetite. Chickpeas can be purchased raw, already cooked, or canned, or roasted. The choice is yours as to which kinds of chickpeas you enjoy. A common way to enjoy chickpeas is in a recipe called hummus, which is delicious. Now, if you are interested in ways to promote better weight management, chickpeas might be a helpful partner due to their filling, satiating, satisfying effects. The protein and fiber in these chickpeas can drop your appetite. It could lower your calorie intake at meals. The protein also might increase levels of what are known as appetite-reducing hormones in your body. This is another way to win. This is a very helpful benefit if you struggle with overeating or portion control. Now, interestingly, in one study, those who ate chickpeas regularly were 53% less likely to have a body mass index over 30, a BMI of over 30, and more likely to have a lower waist circumference than those who didn't eat chickpeas. I think that's interesting. Now, okay, look, let's keep this real. While BMI remains a common health metric, keep in mind that it's limited in its effectiveness. I personally think it is quite misleading for a lot of people. BMI, in fact, can be misleading for those who are more muscular or athletic. And the BMI index, actually, for the person who founded it, never intended it to be used as a general health measure. I think a better health measure is the measure of the circumference of your waist relative to your height. I think that's a much better, more accurate measure of health for people regardless of body type. All right, nonetheless, another review found that those who ate at least one daily serving of legumes, such as chickpeas, lost 25% more weight than those who didn't eat legumes. Although these findings are promising, we need more human studies. Chickpeas are rich in plant-based protein, and they're a great source for it. It makes them an excellent food for people who don't eat meat or animal products. Someone who's a vegetarian or vegan can absolutely have chickpeas as a staple. So this 1 cup or 164 gram serving provides about 14.5 grams of protein, and it's comparable to the protein content of similar foods like black beans and lentils. The protein in our chickpeas can help promote our fullness. They're known for their role in weight management, bone health, and muscle strength. Some studies, in fact, have suggested that the quality of protein in chickpeas is better than that of other types of legumes. That's because chickpeas contain all of the essential amino acids, all of them, except for methionine. It's only missing one of the essential amino acids. So for this reason, they are considered an incomplete source of protein. So to make sure that you get all the amino acids in your diet, it's important to pair chickpeas with a whole grain or other food that contains methionine, such as, say, for example, quinoa. So here are some added benefits of eating chickpeas. They may be helpful for digestion. Chickpeas are full of fiber, which offers several benefits for digestive health. The fiber in chickpeas is mostly soluble, meaning that it blends with water to form a gel-like substance in your digestive tract. Soluble fiber may help increase the number of healthy bacteria in your gut and prevent the overgrowth of unhealthy bacteria. That's a win in both directions, right? More of the good stuff, less of the bad stuff. This may lead to reduced risk of some digestive conditions, such as irritable bowel syndrome and colon cancer. Chickpeas help to nourish your gut's microbiome, which supports healthier blood sugar levels overall. According to one review, chickpeas may also help support digestive health by improving the frequency, ease, and consistency of bowel movements. That's an important benefit. All right, let's look at another aspect here. Chickpeas may help reduce the risk of several chronic illnesses. For example, with type 2 diabetes, chickpeas can help to prevent and manage diabetes due to their blood sugar regulating effects. The fiber and protein in the chickpeas helps you to stop your blood sugar levels from rising too quickly after eating, which is a great way to help avoid blood sugar spikes, for example, or blood sugar crashes. These are important factors in diabetes management and success with reversing type 2 diabetes or prediabetes where possible. Additionally, their low GI or their low glycemic index makes them appropriate for those who do have diabetes of any kind, as they're unlikely to lead to blood sugar spikes. Finally, they're a source of several nutrients that have been found to reduce your risk of type 2 diabetes, including magnesium and B vitamins. The zinc content may also help this condition. Zinc is an important nutrient. Now, when it comes to cancer, chickpeas are helpful here too. Some research suggests that eating chickpeas regularly may help reduce your risk of certain types of cancer. That's because this legume may promote your body's production of a chemical called butyrate, which is really helpful for your intestines. It's a fatty acid that may reduce inflammation in colon cells specifically. That would be your large intestine, possibly decreasing your risk of colon cancer. This is a good way to win. Furthermore, chickpeas contain saponins, which are plant compounds that may help prevent the development of certain cancers. Saponins have also been studied for their role in inhibiting tumor growth. Another way to win. Chickpeas also provide several vitamins and minerals that may lower your cancer risk, including B vitamins, which may be associated with lower risk of breast and lung cancers. All right, chickpeas, it turns out, have something to say when it comes to issues with iron. In fact, they may help to prevent iron deficiency. Chickpeas are an excellent source of iron, packing approximately 26% of the daily value into 1 cup. That's a quarter of what you need a day comes out in 1 cup of chickpeas. Wow. And if you're a plant-based eater, this is good news because getting iron, if you're a vegetarian or vegan, might be more of a challenge. So this is a friend. This is definitely a friend. Iron is involved in red blood cell production, as well as in physical growth, brain development, muscle metabolism, and other aspects of our health. So if you're not getting enough of this key micronutrient, your body's ability to produce healthy red blood cells might be impaired. In turn, this may lead to iron deficiency, a condition characterized by symptoms like weakness or fatigue and shortness of breath. As such, chickpeas are a great option for people who may be at a high risk of iron deficiency, such as vegans and vegetarians. And chickpeas also contain some vitamin C, which may help boost your body's iron absorption. Pretty cool, huh? All in one little package.
So cool.
Now, let's talk about brain health. Thanks to their impressive nutrient profile, chickpeas may support brain function and mental health. This is partly because they're a great source of something called choline, which plays an important role in brain function. While we're here, another great source of choline are eggs. Now, back to chickpeas. In particular, this essential nutrient is required for the production of specific neurotransmitters, which act as chemical messengers for your body's nerve cells. However, while choline is vital for infants, its role in adult health isn't as well researched. As far as I know, and everything I've ever seen over 30 plus years of clinical practice, choline is very important for adults as well, and for us to maintain a healthy, normal nervous system and its function. Chickpeas also contain a good dose, a hearty dose of magnesium, which is a key mineral for nerve function. In addition to this, research has shown that several nutrients found in these legumes, including magnesium, selenium, and zinc, may help protect against depression and anxiety. This is a boost for our mental health. So we still need some more human studies to really nail this down. All right, so here's a tip. Here's a practical tip. Sometimes when I tell people, if I'm working with them in any of my programs, if I'm doing things one-on-one, if I'm a guest on other people's podcasts or summits, if I'm on TV, whatever I'm doing, right? People say, I don't want to eat any beans, doc. No legumes, no peas, no beans, right? Why? Because they get gassy. It's uncomfortable. It's embarrassing. It's not a good look. It's not a good smell. Okay, let's be real. It's not appealing. So here's a tip for you. If you tend to be gassy or to struggle with farting when you eat chickpeas, beans, or legumes, here are some ideas on how to avoid this discomfort or possible embarrassment. If you cook your own chickpeas, soak them overnight in water. This is the first time. Then in the morning, you're going to pour out that water. Then soak them a second time in the water, and you're going to pour out that water too. So you're going to rinse them in water or soak them in water overnight twice, pouring out the water each time before you cook them in what would be a third batch of fresh water. While this might sound wasteful of the water, it does help to remove some of the elements that can cause some people to experience being gassy, or to cause people to fart or have bloating if they eat chickpeas, beans, legumes. Okay, that's one way to solve that problem. Here's another tip. If you buy canned, already cooked chickpeas, one way to reduce the likelihood that these chickpeas will cause you gastrointestinal distress, reduce bloating, farting, gassiness, etc., is to pour out the water in the can and then soak the chickpeas a second time. Then pour out that water before cooking them in fresh water. This helps to remove some of the elements that cause some people to experience being gassy or to fart and have bloating if they eat chickpeas, beans, and legumes. For your information, FYI, the liquid that forms after chickpeas and other legumes are cooked is technically called aquafaba. Did you know that? Are you familiar with that word? It was something that was recently introduced to me several years ago. I like it. Aquafaba. Aquafaba. So Aquafaba is a thick, viscous liquid that's left over after cooking or soaking legumes like chickpeas in water. It's a key ingredient in vegan cooking and baking and is often used as a substitute in that context. So interesting. Some other uses. Aquafaba can be used as a binder and to create foam, which gives baked goods structure and a fluffy crumb. It's also used to make airy meringues and whiskey sours. All right, here's our final tip. You can add chickpeas to just about any dish you like. Really. I often add them to my salads or to salsa, to chili, and to egg dishes like scrambled eggs or egg benedict. I love adding chickpeas in this way. I find it an easy way to get it into my daily nutrition. It's tasty. It also boosts the nutrient profile of anything you're eating and makes it so that that food in combination burns evenly in your metabolism, helps you to reduce or eliminate cravings and to avoid snacking. So if you struggle with snacking and cravings, chickpeas are your friend. All right, so what are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. If you find this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe to this channel. This way you can help me grow the channel and reach others with this information. Thank you so much. All right, next up, canned tuna. Okay, so canned tuna is packed with protein and can keep safely on a shelf for years. People often wonder if canned tuna is a healthy option. So let's look at the benefits and potential downsides of eating it. These nutrition facts are for 1 cup of tuna packed in water. Okay, let me change screens. All right, here we go. All right, nutrition facts. So you get about 124 calories for a portion size of 138 grams. As you can see, the tuna naturally has some fat in it, very small amount of cholesterol. Again, cholesterol is not the enemy. It's what your body does with cholesterol. We do need cholesterol in order to have a good balance, a good foundation for all the sex hormones in our body, like estrogen and progesterone, testosterone, DHEA. It has some salt in it, naturally occurring. One thing to know about sodium is read the labels on tuna cans. Always know if they've added salt, and if so, how much. It will typically be labeled as sodium. Find out how much added salt is in that tuna. Maybe it's 0, maybe it's a ridiculous amount. You're going to need to read the label. Tuna has no calories, essentially. Tuna has no carbohydrate, and it has no fiber, no sugar at all. The protein amount that it offers is 26 grams per serving. That's a lot. That's a nice dosage amount. We also get some vitamin D from tuna. We get calcium from tuna. We get iron from tuna and potassium. So we have a significant amount of vitamin D and iron. That's always great news. Okay? All right. Let's stop our share. So the amount of salt, also known as sodium, can vary in canned tuna. So please be sure to read that label to see if there's any added salt before you buy it. Overall, canned tuna tends to be higher in sodium than fresh. However, the number of calories and the amount of total fat and saturated fats, unsaturated fats, depends on whether the tuna is packed in oil or water. Generally speaking, it's probably a better idea to get the tuna that's packed in water. Nutrient content can vary between brands based on how tuna is packed, so it is best to check the label. Canned tuna packed in water may be higher in DHA. That stands for docosahexaenoic acid. That's DHA. It's a type of omega-3 fatty acid that is particularly important for brain and eye health. Additionally, both fresh and canned tuna are good sources of several essential vitamins and minerals, which includes selenium, iodine, and vitamin D. Now let's look some more at the nutrition that tuna offers when it's canned. There are many varieties of tuna. Overall, it is an excellent source of proteins, low in fat and calories. Now, whether canned tuna is packed in oil or water can affect its nutritional content. I'm sure you can appreciate that. If it's packed in oil, the calories are going to go up. Canned tuna packed in oil tends to be higher also in fat, clearly, than compared to tuna that's canned that's packed in water. Always look at the label for salt content, sodium, so you don't get surprised. Now, this following table that I'm going to share with you compares key nutritional information between 1 ounce, which is about 28 grams, of 3 different types of tuna: fresh, canned in oil, canned in water. Okay, let me share my screen. You can see what I'm referring to. Okay, so if we look here side by side, right, in this column, we're looking at fresh tuna, all the bones are out. Canned tuna packed in oil is the comparison in the middle. And then here on the right, canned tuna packed in water. If we look at the calories, we can see that the canned tuna packed in oil has the most calories. If we look at total fat, the canned tuna packed in oil is at about 2 grams. So it's not a lot, actually, compared to the fresh tuna that's boneless or the canned tuna. Saturated fat, these levels are really low, right? Like, we're good here for tuna. For the omega-3s, Similarly, now it's just really fascinating to see the difference here in the omega-3 fatty acids, the essential fatty acids, good stuff, right? You get the best amount here with canned tuna packed in water. That's so interesting to me. Next would be the canned tuna packed in oil, and last would be the fresh tuna boneless. But they're all good. DHA and EPA are so important for our nervous system and for our brains, for our overall health. This is particularly true whether we are children or adults. Similarly, you can see the cholesterol amounts are low. Sodium, if it's not added, is low. But look how it jumps here if it's packed in oil. For many commercial products, they add salt in addition to the oil when the canned tuna is packed with oil. Similarly, if it's packed in water. So read the label. This can vary based on the product. Your protein amounts are very similar. So it's a great source of protein and quite affordable for most of the locations I've ever seen. All right. So there are a number of other benefits to eating canned tuna. So if you're looking to lose weight, have better weight control, canned tuna is a good option because it is low in calories, yet it is high in protein. Diets that are high in protein have been associated with benefits for weight loss, including increased feelings of fullness and reduced cravings. You're going to hear a consistent theme throughout this video, okay? Trying to find ways to win so people can eat food that's going to be kind to their bodies. Now, despite being low in fat overall, tuna is still considered a good source of omega-3 fatty acid. These omega-3 fatty acids are essential dietary fats that are beneficial for the heart, eye, and brain health. Omega-3 fatty acids are essential because we cannot make them, we have to eat them. That's what makes them essential. Fish is considered an important source of these healthy fats in the diet, though you can also get omega-3s from some plant foods, perhaps not in the same concentration. As a result, the dietary guidelines for Americans currently recommends that adults consume 8 ounces of seafood per week. Eating canned tuna is an easy way to increase the healthy omega-3 fats in your diet. The types and amounts of fats can vary depending on the type of canned tuna that you choose, so read the labels if you want to compare brands. And in addition to these healthy fats, canned tuna is also a good source of several vitamins and minerals, especially selenium, vitamin D. Now, finally, despite being canned, many brands of canned tuna are minimally processed, containing only tuna, water or oil, and salt. Some brands may also add seasonings or broth for other flavors, so read the labels so you know what you're signing up for. They vary a lot. All right, now, when we talk about tuna or canned tuna, some of you might be wondering, why in the world am I putting this on a healthy foods video? There are some potential downsides, but they're not guaranteed. Again, you have to know your product. So read the labels, okay? The two main concerns when it comes to tuna are mercury content and sustainability. Sustainability from the point of view of how the fish is harvested. There's also some potential downsides to canned tuna specifically, including the fat and salt content and the safety of the actual can itself. Let's take this one by one. So mercury and recommended intake of tuna are such that the big issue here for mercury is that it's a heavy metal, and it's often present in tuna due to the water contamination, human-made contamination.
Humans.
Mercury is more likely to be present in a certain layer of the ocean at what are called surface and mid-water depths of 100 feet to 1,000 feet into the ocean. Over the years, research has shown that high exposure to mercury can cause serious health problems in humans, including impairments to the central nervous system. Years ago, when I had my clinic in a different location, I ran into a patient there whom I worked with who had off the charts levels of mercury. It was crazy how high his mercury was. So he came in with classic mercury symptom problems. And so, we took the appropriate sample, sent it off to the lab for analysis. And when the results came back, it was shocking to know that he was even still alive. His mercury levels were off the charts, just through the roof. So it turned out he was having every day fresh sashimi grade tuna flown in from Japan because he so loved sushi. So for 5 years in a row, he had done this. That's how he'd gotten so toxic with mercury from eating tuna. That's an extreme case. Most of us, first off, that's quite a budget that you'd spend that kind of money to bring in tuna from so far away. And for him, it took a while, but we were able to detox him from the mercury and get him back to healthy. So I know for some people, the mercury contamination is a concern, so I wanted to make sure we talked about this. So if you're having canned tuna and it's a few times a week, it's probably okay. If you're doing it every day, it's probably too much. All right, I hope that's helpful to you. Now, because tuna eat other small fish that may already be contaminated with, say, mercury, this metal can collect and concentrate in the tuna. If that happens and then we eat the tuna, now it's concentrating in us as the humans. So for this reason, tuna tends to be higher in mercury than other types of fish, like say tilapia or salmon. The amount of mercury present depends on the type of tuna. There are variables here. So in general, the bigger, larger varieties of tuna, like the big eye and the albacore, they tend to be higher in mercury. On the other hand, smaller tuna fish like light tuna and skipjack are typically lower in mercury. So you want to keep your eyes peeled for those, okay? As canned tuna typically contains younger and smaller types of tuna, including light tuna and skipjack tuna, it's typically lower in mercury than the frozen or fresh tuna fillets. Something good to know. Now, for women who are pregnant or breastfeeding, this is an important piece of info. The FDA here in the US recommends that women who are pregnant or breastfeeding avoid fish that are high in mercury. Intake of albacore canned tuna should be no more than 4 ounces a week. However, the FDA says that it's safe for pregnant and breastfeeding women to eat low mercury fish, such as canned tuna made from light or skipjack tuna. It's recommended 2 to 3 4-ounce servings, or 2 to 3 113-gram servings a week. Okay? Now, if we're talking about children aged 2 to 10, the research has shown that mercury exposure is particularly toxic to a developing child's nervous system. For this reason, caregivers need to be aware of this and should limit the canned tuna they feed to infants and young children. According to the Food and Drug Administration, which is what FDA stands for, children aged 2 to 10 can have up to 1 ounce of low mercury fish, including the light and skipjack varieties of canned tuna, 2 to 3 times a week. For adults, studies have shown that people who consume high mercury fish at least once a week have elevated mercury levels and are more likely to experience fatigue. So if someone has a lot of problems with fatigue and they can't figure out what's going on, it might be good to get tested for mercury toxicity. People should limit their intake of canned tuna made from albacore to 1 4-ounce or 113-gram serving per week. This is because it is higher in mercury. Instead, try eating low mercury fish like the light and skipjack tuna or other kinds of fish entirely. Now, here's another big topic when we're talking about seafood in general and how they're harvested from the ocean in this case. Because tuna is so popular, the sustainability issue really is front and center. It's a growing concern that certain types of tuna are being overfished. Western Pacific blue-eyed tuna and Indian Ocean yellowfin tuna may be particularly vulnerable to overfishing. Overfishing is a concern because it affects the entire ecosystem of the oceans where these fish are and can reduce the food supply for the populations that depend on these fish as their primary source of protein. Here's some other things to consider too if you're going to eat tuna. Canned tuna is often higher in salt than fresh tuna. So the way the tuna is produced and canned will make a difference here. So if your healthcare provider has recommended that you reduce your salt intake, you might want to choose brands that are lower in salt. I'm going to remind you again, read the labels so you know what you're getting. One other thing to consider is that, if you're trying to lose weight, you may want to choose tuna packed in water rather than oil to avoid consuming excess calories. It's an easy way to drop the calorie count. You have less fuel that way. As for the can itself, some cans contain BPA, also known as bisphenol A, an industrial chemical used in the lining of the cans to help prevent the metal from corroding or breaking. Now, there's definitely been some controversy about the effects of BPA on human health. Some people are concerned that regular exposure could negatively affect human health and increase the risk of certain diseases. So due to these potential effects, you may want to choose BPA-free cans. However, scientists still need to do more research on BPA and its effects on humans, and then also, what is it that they're using to help preserve the integrity of the cans when it's a BPA-free can? You don't want to choose one problem for another. Hopefully it's not toxic. So keep an eye on that research because I know this is one of those ongoing developments. Please be sure to check your cans of tuna, or for that matter, any canned foods. Do the contents have an off smell or color? If they do, it's best to throw them out to avoid potential foodborne illness. Here are the signs to look for. Always inspect your cans for any signs of spoilage or contamination, such as sharp dents or cracking. Certainly if they're leaking, the can is puffed out or bulging, and when you open it, if it has an off smell or an off color, or if it just in general smells bad. Something about it seems like it's not right, don't eat it. It's absolutely not worth getting sick. All right, so the bottom line here is that canned tuna is a nutritious and inexpensive source of protein. Because cans of tuna can last for several years, they are excellent for stocking your pantry with easy lunches and snacks. Other options for dinner, perhaps even breakfast. All right, here's a tip. Opt for the varieties that are sustainable and low in mercury. To do this, choose products made with light or skipjack tuna, and make sure they have an MSC certification on the label. MSC stands for Marine Stewardship Council. Here is the logo to look for. Let me switch screens so you can see it. All right, friends, look for this logo for MSC, the Marine Stewardship Council. The Marine Stewardship Council is an international nonprofit organization that provides independent certification to seafood products harvested with sustainable fishing practices. This is really important for the health of the ocean and for the health of humanity as we go forward. So for these more sustainable options, look for canned tuna products with the MSC certification on the label.
Next, please.
All right, next up, chia seeds. That's going to be food number 4 here in our list. Now, in my opinion, chia seeds are an easy and delightful way to boost your nutrition. Let's take a look. Here they are in my bowl, right? They're really small. Look at that. I mean, tiny. Wow, really tiny. But man, they pack a lot of goodness in a very small package. All right. Chia seeds are the tiny black seeds of the chia plant. Native to Mexico and Guatemala, they are a staple food for the ancient Aztecs and Mayans. In fact, chia is the ancient Mayan word for strength. Chia seeds are small, flat, and oval shaped with a shiny and smooth texture. Their color ranges from white to brown to black. These seeds are highly versatile. They can be soaked and added to porridge, made into pudding, used in baked goods, added to smoothies, used to make healthy, simple desserts, or just sprinkled on top of salads and yogurt. Because of their ability to absorb liquid and form a gel, they can also be used to thicken sauces. They are a handy nutritional add, that's for sure. Let's look at some nutrition facts here. Chia seeds contain about 138 calories per ounce. By weight, they're 6% water, 46% carbohydrates, of which 83% of that, right, most of it is fiber for the carb content, which is a good thing for your gut, 34% fat, 19% protein. So here's the nutrients in 3.5 ounces. Also, for metric is 100 grams of chia seeds. All right, let me share my screen so you can see this. All right. So when you look at it, chia seeds pack a lot in a very small package. 16.5 grams of protein, 42 grams for carbs, no grams of sugar, separate from the carbs that are found here. The fiber content is 34.4 grams, which is most of what the carb count is actually reflecting is fiber in chia seeds. And then the fat that they have is 30 grams of fat. Saturated fat is 3. Monounsaturated is 2. Polyunsaturated, we love this, is 23.67. Good news all around. Omega-3 is 17.83 grams. Oh, wow. Omega-6, thankfully, is much lower than the omega-3. Omega-6 is the inflammatory kind that tends to be associated with inflammation and pain and all kinds of problems. Omega-3 is great. Look at that. The omega-3 to omega-6 is a 3-to-1 ratio. You have 3 times as much omega-3 as omega-6. This is good for human health. Trans fat, negligible. Okay? All right. Let me stop sharing my screen. Now, we think about protein for chia seeds. It's about almost 20% protein, right? It's similar in its amount of protein compared to other seeds, but more than most cereals and grains. So this is great. If you are a plant-based eater, chia seeds are awesome. If you're not a plant-based eater, chia seeds are still awesome.
Maybe I should try that.
So a higher protein intake is associated with increased fullness after meals and a reduced food intake. If you're struggling with cravings, with portion control, with feeling satisfied with your meals, chia seeds are a friend. They're helpful. Notably, these seeds can offer all 9 essential amino acids and are thus a high-quality plant-based protein. Chia seeds are a complete protein source, but they are not recommended as a sole protein source for children. You still need more variety in a child's diet, and I would argue you need more variety in an adult's diet too. All right, let's look at carbs and fiber. Now, for chia seeds, more than 80% of that carb content is in the form of fiber. A single ounce, that's 28 grams of chia seeds, boasts 11 grams of fiber, which is a significant portion of the RDI, or the reference daily intake, for women and for men, for all adults, 25 and 38 grams, respectively. Chia seeds contain 2 kinds of fiber, both insoluble and soluble. Chia fiber may be fermented in your gut, promoting the formation of SCFAs, also known as short-chain fatty acids, and for improving colon health. This is how chia seeds can directly help improve the gut's microbiome. This is an important thing. You can take some control about what's going on in your tummy. Let's look at chia seeds from the point of view of fat. One of the unique characteristics of chia seeds is their high content of heart-healthy omega-3 fatty acids. About 75% of the fats in chia seeds consist of the omega-3 ALA, also called alpha-linolenic acid, while about 20% consist of omega-6 fatty acids. That's good. We have much more omega-3 than omega-6. That's a good ratio.
Perfect.
We love that. In fact, chia seeds are best known as a plant-based source of omega-3 fatty acids, even better than the mighty flaxseed. Some scientists believe that a high intake of omega-3s relative to omega-6 reduces inflammation in your body. If you're struggling with inflammation, you might want to add chia seeds regularly to what you eat. A low ratio is associated with a lower risk of various chronic conditions, such as heart disease, cancer, and inflammatory diseases, and a lower risk of premature death. However, gram for gram, the omega-3 fatty acids in chia seeds are not nearly as potent as those that are found in fish or fish oil, where it contains EPA and DHA, other kinds of the omega-3 fatty acids. The ALA, alpha-linolenic acid, found in chia seeds needs to be converted into its active forms, EPA and DHA, before your body can use it. And this process, frankly, is often inefficient, and that's why the fish sources are considered superior. All right, let's talk about vitamins and minerals. Chia seeds can provide high amounts of many minerals, but are a poor source of vitamins. The most abundant minerals are manganese. Manganese comes from whole grains and seeds, which are rich in manganese, which is essential for metabolism, growth, and development. It's lovely that chia seeds provide it. Phosphorus. It's usually found in protein-rich foods, and phosphorus that's found here in chia seeds contributes to bone health and tissue maintenance. Copper. Now, this is a mineral that's often lacking in the modern diet, and copper is important for heart health. And then selenium. An important antioxidant, selenium is involved in many processes in the human body. It also contains iron. Iron is a component of hemoglobin and red blood cells, and iron is involved in the transport of oxygen throughout your body. It may be poorly absorbed from chia seeds due to their phytic acid content. Magnesium. This too is often lacking in the Western diet, and magnesium plays an important role in many bodily processes. And then finally, let's take a look at calcium. It's the most abundant mineral in our body. It is essential for our bones, muscles, and nerves. Now, the absorption of some minerals, such as iron and zinc, may be reduced because of the phytic acid content of the chia seeds. There are other plant compounds found in chia seeds, a number of beneficial plant compounds, which includes chlorogenic acid. This antioxidant may lower blood pressure. Caffeic acid. This substance is abundant in many plant foods and may help inflammation in your body. Quercetin. This powerful antioxidant may reduce your risk of heart disease, osteoporosis, and certain forms of cancer. Camphorol. This antioxidant has been associated with a decreased risk of cancer and other chronic diseases. And in general, antioxidant protection. Clean, dried chia seeds have an extended shelf life, as their antioxidants protect their fats from damage. Now let's consider the bigger picture here around the health benefits of chia seeds. Chia seeds have become increasingly popular in recent years because of their high nutritional value and health benefits. They offer improved blood sugar control. I think we all understand that having healthy blood sugar levels is crucial for optimal health. Animal studies demonstrate that chia seeds reduce insulin resistance and improve blood sugar control, which are important risk factors for metabolic syndrome, type 2 diabetes, prediabetes, heart disease, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and more. Human studies show that bread made with chia seeds can cause a reduced blood sugar response compared to bread created through more traditional means. Now let's look at increased fiber intake. Most people don't consume enough fiber. High fiber intake is linked to improved gut health, easier bowel movements, and a lower risk of numerous diseases. A single ounce of chia seeds provides 9.7 grams of fiber, which is 25% and 39% of the recommended daily intake for men and women, respectively. Due to their extraordinary water-absorbing capacity, chia seeds increase the volume of food in your digestive tract, leading to increased fullness and decreased food intake. Another way to win if you have any struggling with cravings and portion control or appetite issues. Let's look at the increased blood levels of omega-3. Now, these kinds of fatty acids, the omega-3 fatty acids, are incredibly important for your body and your brain, and chia seeds are an excellent source of the omega-3 ALA. However, ALA, alpha-linolenic acid, needs to be converted into the active forms, such as EPA, before your body can use it. Studies in humans and animals have shown that chia seeds can raise your blood levels of ALA up to 138% and EPA up to 39%, which is good news for your nervous system as well as the rest of your body. Another great benefit potentially for chia seeds is lower blood pressure. So high blood pressure is a major risk factor for chronic diseases such as heart disease. And there's crossover here because of the inflammatory profile with diabetes. Chia seeds and chia flour have both been found to lower blood pressure in people who have already experiencing elevated levels. All right, now there's always a flip side to things, so let's talk about it. Looking at individual concerns and adverse effects. Chia seeds are generally considered safe to eat, and few to no adverse effects have been reported from consuming them. However, to avoid possible digestive side effects, it's really important to avoid constipation by making sure you drink plenty of water when you eat them, especially if they have not been pre-soaked. Otherwise, they will get into your intestines and absorb the water that's there and maybe clump up, making it hard to have a bowel movement, which is the opposite of the benefit we would normally expect from chia seeds. So make sure you soak them first before you eat them. And if for some reason you haven't done that, drink plenty of water, no matter what, when you're having chia seeds, okay? That way you know you have enough hydration on board so you don't run into problems. Now, a few times I've mentioned the phytic acid content. Like all seeds, chia seeds contain phytic acid, and phytic is spelled P-H-Y-T-I-C, acid. This is a plant compound that binds with minerals such as iron and zinc and can interfere with their uptake from foods. Chia seeds also can have a blood thinning effect. If you're on certain medications, please pay attention here. Large doses of omega-3 fats, those, for instance, from fish oils or from chia seeds, can have blood thinning effects. So if you're taking any blood thinning medications, anticoagulation medicines, consult with your doctor before incorporating large amounts of chia seeds into your diet. Omega-3 fatty acids may affect the activity of your medication. This is important to know. All right, cool. I hope you find all of this helpful. So what are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. If you find this video helpful, please like the video and subscribe to this channel. This way you can help me grow the channel and reach others with this information. Thank you so much. All right, moving on. Food number 5, celery. Now, celery is used in lots of recipes and can be enjoyed on its own. It has a light, refreshing flavor. It's easy to pair it with seeds, seed butters, nuts, or nut butters. The crunch of celery is enjoyable for people who like to eat foods that are crunchy. Here we have stalk of celery, nice bunch of it. Celery is also easy to bring as a snack as it does not need to be refrigerated. So you can look for celery that has a strong, wide stalks for the best flavor. Stalks of celery that are really thin or that are flagging and limp are usually lacking in flavor. Okay, let's look at our celery nutrition facts. Now, this is for one medium celery stalk, maybe 7 to 8 inches long or so, about 40 grams perhaps in weight, contain 5.5 calories, 1.2 grams of carb, and 0.3 of protein. So here's the nutrition information as provided by the USDA. Let me switch screens so you can see it. All right. So as we look at this, it's really interesting, right? Celery naturally contains some salt, some sodium. You don't have to add any to it. It's already there. It also has potassium, which is really cool. It has fiber, very small amount of protein and sugar. For the potassium that it has, that can certainly help with blood pressure issues and avoid muscle cramping. Vitamins A and K are great. These are fat-soluble vitamins. And, you know, since celery is so rich in water, it's kind of interesting that it has fat-soluble vitamins in it, but it does. And folate is one of the B vitamin family. All right. That's some of the nutritional facts, some of the goodness that celery has to offer us. All parts of celery are edible, including its leaves. I see a lot of people when they're preparing their food, they just throw away the leaves. You don't need to do that. You can eat them safely. They're delicious. They have just as much flavor as the stalk. Celery can be added to lots of things like stews and soups, healthy green juices. The leaves, along with cubed chunks of celery, are a nice addition to salads, tuna salad, chicken salad, salmon salad, pasta salad, other kinds of salads. It goes well with salsa of all kinds to give it an added kick. Celery can also be added to sandwiches to boost the texture of the food as desired. Celery's natural crunch makes it a healthy substitute for chips or crackers. Now, some additional health benefits. Some of the main benefits of eating celery come from its high water content, fiber, and micronutrients. Here are some helpful things to know about celery. It aids in diabetes prevention and management. The flavonoids, a particular group of nutrients that are in celery, called apigenin, luteolin, and the phenolic, are protective against oxidative damage to the beta cells of the pancreas. These cells are responsible for producing insulin and regulating glucose levels. It is important to protect the pancreas from damage as much as possible. Now, as an example, apigenin specifically can help to slow the progression of diabetes by preventing cataracts, retinopathy, which lead to blindness otherwise, and peripheral neuropathy, decreased sensations in the hands and feet. Many people with diabetes struggle with these things, with problems with their eyes and neuropathy. Celery is also high in quercetin, a powerful antioxidant that increases glucose uptake in the liver and stimulates insulin secretion to help keep diabetes from progressing. This is so good to know, right? That's really going to be a helpful thing, specifically for the liver, as well as the function of other glands. Now, it also supports heart health. Consistently eating meals rich in vegetables, especially leafy green vegetables, is associated with lower rates of heart disease. Celery is an especially great choice given its high content of potassium, which helps to lower blood pressure, fiber, helps to reduce unfriendly kinds of cholesterol levels, and folate, which helps to prevent inflammation issues. Celery does provide some natural sodium, which might be a sensitive nutrient in a heart-healthy diet for people who might be more vulnerable to heart disease. However, it is high in polyphenols that are anti-inflammatory and protective against cardiovascular disease. You may have to weigh the benefits or disadvantages of celery for your own health situation. Celery helps to protect eyesight. Age-related macular degeneration is a common cause of vision loss. The vitamins in celery are powerful antioxidants that help to prevent age-related macular degeneration. Along with vitamins E and C, celery provides two forms of vitamin A that are associated with better vision. Lutein and zeaxanthin are specialized carotenoids that accumulate in the retina for concentrated protection. Celery helps to support weight loss. The high fiber and water content of celery, combined with its satisfying crunch and low calorie count, means that you can fill up on larger volumes of food without taking in excessive calories. It's a low fuel food. That makes celery and most other non-starchy vegetables helpful for weight loss. Celery is low on fuel and high on satisfaction. Some people enjoy celery as a low-carb option for those on a keto diet, which can lack fresh produce variety due to the carbohydrate constraints of a keto diet. Celery contains many vitamins and minerals that can be lacking on the keto diet and pair well with higher fat foods like cheese or nut butter, which are popular typically for keto diets. Celery can help reduce the risks of birth defects. Celery is a good source of folate, which is crucial during the early stages of fetal development. To minimize the risk of neural tube defects and preterm birth, folate supplements are recommended for all women of childbearing age. Eating leafy greens like celery can also help supply the folate required for a healthy pregnancy. Now, let's talk about free radical damage, right? Oxidation. Celery can be considered a superfood for the simple reason that it contains several healthful plant compounds. Celery contains antioxidants that fight against the damage caused by free radicals, known as oxidative stress. Oxidative stress causes cellular and organ damage, and although it can be unavoidable, certain foods containing antioxidants can help. That's because antioxidants can prevent free radicals from damaging tissues and cells. Chronic illnesses like diabetes and heart disease have increased inflammation and increased oxidative damage as part of their profiles. So celery is a helpful, healing food partner. This is part of what is behind the saying, let your food be your medicine and let your medicine be your food. Celery contains compounds including caffeic acid, p-coumaric acid, ferulic acid, apigenin, luteolin, tannin, saponin, and camphorol. These compounds provide the vegetable with impressive antioxidant properties to help remove free radicals and prevent the damage that they can do, especially in our blood vessels. All right, let's look at allergies. It's interesting for some foods. They may not be the ones you commonly think of as a source of allergies, but it can happen, right? So celery allergies can cause mouth itchiness and swelling of the throat, tongue, and lips. Respiratory or skin issues have also been reported. Celery allergies are often associated with pollen allergies and may be triggered by cooked or raw celery, as well as celery spice. If you suspect an allergy to celery, please see an allergist. That's a doctor who specializes in allergies for a diagnosis. Now, there's another aspect to consider here, right? Which is pollen food syndrome, sometimes known as oral allergy syndrome. Most often, this occurs in those who are currently allergic to pollens who experience hay fever. Protein pollens are similar to pollens found in some raw vegetables like celery. This similarity can cause the immune system to react to celery as if it were pollen. It's less likely to occur if the food is cooked. All right, let's talk about some adverse effects. Celery is a source of oxalates, which contribute to certain types of kidney stones for those who might be vulnerable. If you are prone to kidney stones, talk to a doctor or other expert to determine whether you need to limit your celery intake. Better safe than sorry. Now, here's a medication warning. Folate can interfere with the effectiveness of a particular drug called methotrexate. This is a medication that's prescribed for use with autoimmune diseases like, say, rheumatoid arthritis and cancer. Although this is usually more of a concern for folate supplements rather than foods high in folate like celery, it is a good idea to discuss your dietary intake of green vegetables with your doctor or qualified health professional who has expertise in human nutrition while on this medication. A cup of chopped celery has about 30 micrograms of vitamin K, which is essential for blood clotting. As a result, celery may interfere with blood-thinning anti-clotting medications that are intended to prevent clots. It's usually not necessary or advisable to avoid green vegetables when taking blood thinners, but rather to maintain a consistent intake so that medication can be dosed accordingly. Speak to your doctor if you take blood thinner medicines to learn more about the role of foods that are high in vitamin K. Sometimes people get conflicting information about the natural blood thinning effects of foods when they are on prescription drugs. Be sure to do your homework so you understand the risks and benefits and how they apply to your specific health situations and concern. Now here's a tip. If you have more celery than you can realistically use while it is fresh, give it a good rinse. Freeze it. Save it for the future. Remember to mark the freezer bag with the date so you can use it before freezer burn sets in. It's a great idea to add it to a slow-cooked meal, to your Instapot recipes, sautés, and green smoothies. All right, next up, cucumber. All right, let's talk about cucumbers. Now, when eating cucumber, please be sure to rinse it and leave its skin on for the best nutritional benefit. The skin of the cucumber, along with its flesh, helps to nourish the gut's microbiome and support healthy blood sugar levels. So a half cup of sliced cucumber, that's about 52 grams with the peel, provides 8 calories. Low fuel, really low fuel, right? It's going to give you a tiny amount of protein, an even more tiny, even less amount of fat, and a small amount of carbohydrates. Cucumbers are a good source of potassium and vitamins K and C. Here is the following nutritional information that's provided by the USDA. All right, let me share my screen. Okay, so as we look at this nutrient profile, right, this is pretty interesting. Low fuel, obviously not a lot of calories, right? Just 8, that's not much. Tiny amount of protein, tiny amount of sugars, carbs, some fiber, lots of flavor though. Cucumbers are quite rich when you look at flavor. It has vitamin C to offer, potassium, vitamin K. Interesting, right? Different B vitamin family. Mostly this is going to be B5, a tiny amount there, magnesium. Good to know. So cucumbers are naturally high in water, and their relative concentration of nutrients is low. Still, though, with the fact that it contains vitamin K, C, and potassium, this nutrition also has trace amounts of calcium, magnesium, phosphorus, and it's just good to know what all's in there. That includes vitamin A. So let's look at the overall health benefits. In addition to the vitamin and mineral content, cucumbers contain unique substances that are still being researched. Here's some of the ways that they promote health. It improves blood sugar. Cucumbers are a non-starchy vegetable, definitely a green vegetable, which is in one of the best categories of food for managing diabetes. It is recommended to eat 3 to 5 servings of non-starchy vegetables per day at a minimum. I personally think it is a great idea to eat 2 to 3 servings of leafy green vegetables at each and every meal, including breakfast. I think if you're really serious about wanting good blood sugar control, improving your gut's microbiome, having easier bowel movements, improving your cholesterol, reducing or perhaps getting rid of issues with blood pressure, those leafy green vegetables are powerhouses, right? They're actively blood sugar sponges. Now, when hunger strikes, eating leafy green vegetables, these non-starchy vegetables, can help to satisfy your appetite, leave you feeling satiated, feeling full, without raising your blood sugar levels. That's important. The fiber and water content of fresh cucumbers makes them an ideal choice for glycemic control. Now, these also promote hydration. Drinking water may be the most efficient way to quench your thirst, and high water foods can also provide hydration. Cucumbers are 95% water, making them a great way to rehydrate, including in hot outdoor temperatures. To help replace electrolytes and water that your body needs, you can snack on cucumbers after sporting events or heavy exercise. Or if you're in a place that has been extremely hot, this is another way to help rehydrate yourself. Because the interiors, right, the insides of these cucumbers can be up to 20 degrees cooler than outside temperatures, that's a big gap. They can help you to cool down quickly. They also support heart health. Cucumbers are a good way to add fiber, which improves satiety and helps to lower cholesterol levels. And they contain potassium, which reduces blood pressure levels. Cucumbers also provide folate, an essential B vitamin that reduces stroke risk. It's well known that eating a variety of vegetables and fruits every day is an effective way to prevent heart disease, and cucumbers are a refreshing option. They may also help to reduce cancer risk. Cucurbitacins are a natural compound found in cucumbers and some other vegetables such as squash. There are multiple variations of cucurbitacins that work together to inhibit cancer growth, and breast cancer appears to be particularly sensitive to their effects. In addition, cucumbers contain the flavonoid quercetin, which shows antioxidant and anti-cancer behavior. We need more human studies in order to confirm the role of cucumber in cancer prevention. The research so far is promising. Cucumbers help to ease diverticulitis. Now, diverticulitis disease is a painful inflammation of the colon that sometimes requires hospitalization. Studies have shown mixed results on the benefits of fiber to prevent flare-ups. However, research supports the intake of fiber from fruits and vegetables, like cucumbers, to lower the likelihood of diverticulitis-related hospitalizations. Specifically, getting an additional 8.5 grams of fiber per day from vegetables and fruits was associated with a 30% risk reduction. That's a big risk drop. That's well worthwhile. Okay, let's consider there might be some downsides here. Cucumber allergies, right? If you're allergic to ragweed, and many people have ragweed allergies, and they'll notice that, it's a thing that typically shows up for them in the spring and summer, depending on where you live. You may notice that some allergy symptoms are expressed by you after you eat cucumber. This phenomenon is called oral allergy syndrome, OAS, and is caused by cross-reactivity between the two plants, between the cucumber plant and the ragweed plant. It's also possible to have a true food allergy to cucumbers. Food allergy symptoms typically include hives, dizziness, swelling of the tongue or throat, chest tightness, and difficulty breathing. If you suspect an allergy to cucumbers, see an allergist to discuss your concerns. Now, as for other adverse effects, if you take warfarin, also called Coumadin, as a blood thinner, as a drug to prevent clots, it's important to keep your intake of vitamin K consistent. Green vegetables like bok choy and cucumber provide vitamin K, which is essential for blood clotting. Because it may interact with the blood thinning effects of warfarin, maintaining roughly the same daily consumption of vitamin K can help your doctor to determine the correct dosage of medication for you. As I mentioned earlier, the information on interactions between naturally occurring compounds in foods and medications that are used as blood thinners can be confusing. Be sure you understand what is best for your health situation. Now here's a tip. Use cucumber to replace the role of chips of various kinds in what you eat. A slice of cucumber can replace every potato chip or corn chip, tortilla chip, whatever kinds of chips you might usually eat. It's a much healthier option. Cucumber is delicious, it's crunchy, and can take on the flavor of any dip, hummus, or salsas that you enjoy. Try this out as an easy way to win with blood sugar, blood pressure, weight management, easier bowel movements, and other chronic health issues. All right, next up, chicken. That's right. Now, as I talk about chicken, I will cover both its benefits and its downsides. How the chickens are raised matters a lot for our health. This includes what the chickens are fed. Where possible, get chicken that was raised with normal chicken food, that it's a free-range chicken, it's had a chance to live a normal life, it's been outside, it's been out in the grass, and it's allowed to range freely over the farm. Free-range chickens have a healthier profile and offer more nutritional value with added nutrient density compared to conventionally raised chicken or something from a CAFO, a commercial agricultural feeding operation. Those are terrible circumstances for chickens. All right, let's take a look at the differences between the two. Now, this is stuff that's good to know. You can purchase chicken breasts, for instance, that are pre-trimmed and ready to use. In many grocery stores and bulk warehouses, you might also find chicken breasts that are frozen and individually wrapped. If you buy one of these convenient options, be sure to check the nutrition facts label. These varieties of chicken breast may contain more sodium. That's right, added salt. And if you're looking to avoid added salt, you gotta read the labels, even on something like this where that might not be the first thought you have. You may also see various labels on chicken marketing it as organic, antibiotic-free, etc. The U.S. Department of Agriculture, known as USDA, regulates these terms. Here's what they mean. Free range means producers must demonstrate to the agency that the poultry has been allowed access to the outside. In other words, the chickens aren't kept, housed in some sort of structure all day. They never see the sun. They never get any fresh air, etc. Now, when they use the term natural, here's what it means. A product containing no artificial ingredient or added color and is only minimally processed. Minimal processing means that the product was processed in a manner that does not fundamentally alter the product. The label must include a statement explaining the meaning of the term natural. So they need to tell you, does that mean that there's no artificial ingredients? Is it minimally processed, etc.? They have to spell it out. Now, if the chicken says no hormones, here's what it means. Hormones are not allowed in raising poultry or hogs. Therefore, the claim no hormones added cannot be used on labels of poultry or pork unless it is followed by a statement that says federal regulations prohibit the use of hormones. When they use the term no antibiotics when we're talking about chicken, the term no antibiotics added may be used on labels for meat or poultry products if sufficient documentation is provided by the producer to the agency demonstrating that the animals were raised without antibiotics. And if it says organic, there are specific rules about how chickens must be raised and cared for in order to be labeled organic. For example, they must be given 100% organic feed. All right, so for this video, I'm using the chicken breast as a reference. So that's 1 3-ounce portion, about 85 grams for the serving of the chicken breast. Let's look at its nutrition facts. Okay, let me switch screens so you can see it. Okay, so for the chicken breast, you're going to get 24 grams of protein, which is lovely. Small amount of fat at 3 grams, absolutely no carbs. When we look at our daily value amounts for certain nutrients, they're pretty spectacular. 51% of the B vitamin called niacin. For trace mineral selenium is 36%, phosphorus 17%, vitamin B6 at 16%, B12 at 10%, riboflavin at 9%, zinc as a mineral at 7%, thiamine, another B vitamin, 6%, potassium 5%, copper 4%. So you're getting quite a nutritional bang there from chicken. So some of the benefits of chicken are that it is rich in an array of important nutrients and can be an excellent addition to a healthy, well-rounded diet. Given that chicken is relatively low in calories but high in protein, it could be especially beneficial for weight loss if that's a goal for you. I've known many people over the years who have made chicken a staple in their weight loss journey, and it's been very helpful for them. Studies show that increasing your intake of protein can enhance your feelings of fullness, increase weight loss, and help maintain a lean body mass. And when paired with strength training, that's right, with resistance training, protein can also help promote muscle growth. What's more, the protein that's involved here in calcium metabolism is important for optimizing bone health. Protein in particular is essential for building and repairing your tissues and maintaining muscle mass. Meanwhile, selenium is a trace mineral that's necessary for proper immune function, thyroid health, and fertility. Chicken is also rich in B vitamins like niacin and vitamins B6 and B12, which play central roles in energy production, DNA synthesis, and brain health. Some other health benefits include the fact that protein in chicken breast is low fat and can offer many significant advantages, making it a helpful addition to all kinds of eating plans. Specifically, the nutrients in chicken breast can help with your own bone health, muscle mass, appetite control, and even your mood and sleep. Let's talk about each one. All right, chicken can help you to build and maintain your precious muscle mass. If you're looking to have better blood sugar control and have glycemic regulation and avoid the issues that go with spiraling problems with blood sugar, chicken is so helpful. It helps you to build and maintain that muscle mass, right? Along with the stimulus of strength training to tell your body to build and maintain your muscle mass. So protein helps your body maintain muscle mass and also helps to build muscle in conjunction with the strength training program. Because chicken breast is high in protein, it's part of a diet that can help you build that precious muscle mass. Research shows that losses in muscle mass and strength are directly associated with mortality rates and injuries in older people. The loss of muscle mass represents an increased risk of falling and loss of mobility and loss of independence. These are all not good things. So even if you aren't trying to bulk up your muscles, preventing muscle loss is important regardless of your age. Preventing muscle loss is critical for better blood sugar control too. It also helps to boost serotonin and melatonin, so both your mental health along with your sleep. Chicken breast contains tryptophan, an essential amino acid that helps to regulate protein synthesis. Tryptophan also contributes to your brain's ability to synthesize serotonin, an important chemical for our mood and reward centers. People with inadequate serotonin may experience symptoms of depression or have trouble with memory. Tryptophan also plays a role in melatonin, an important hormone for sleep. All right, let's talk about strengthening bones. Scientists and doctors once believed that a diet high in animal protein could reduce bone density and increase the risk of broken bones. However, with more recent research, that shows that protein works with calcium to help protect bones. It's not hurting, it's helping. It's crucial to consume enough protein to keep your bones strong and healthy. Chicken may reduce appetite. Consuming protein helps you feel full, which can help to reduce food cravings and prevent overeating. One small study of overweight men on reduced calorie diets, for example, found that those who ate more protein showed improved appetite control and satiety. The amount of protein in chicken breast makes it a good choice for you if you're hoping to boost your satisfaction with meals. All right, let's take a look at the downsides. Not all types of chicken are created equal. For example, fried and breaded varieties like chicken nuggets, popcorn chicken, and chicken tenders are typically high in unhealthy fats, carbs, and calories. Some types of chicken are also heavily processed, such as lunch meats. Research suggests that processed meat intake may be associated with a higher risk of heart disease, type 2 diabetes, certain types of cancer. Processed meats may also contain high amounts of sodium and various kinds of preservatives. That's right, increased amount of salt. So reducing your sodium or your salt intake has been shown to help to decrease blood pressure levels, especially in people with high blood pressure concerns. Another thing to know is that some preservatives in processed meats, such as nitrites, can contribute to the formation of carcinogenic compounds. All right, so let's talk now about healthy preparations, ways you can make chicken so that it's healthier. Some common chicken preparation methods that are healthy include, these are some of the best choices, grilled chicken. Grilled chicken can be a quick and healthy way to boost your protein intake. Consider throwing some vegetables onto the grill to help round out your meal. I'm a fan of that idea. Baked chicken. Baking your chicken is a great weeknight dinner option, especially if you're trying to lose weight. In addition to being low in fat and calories, baked chicken is rich in important nutrients. This is a win. This is one of those things, if you're doing meal planning, you can make a tray of baked chicken so you've got it ready for your week. Another option is stir-fried chicken. You can try stir-frying your chicken with a bit of oil and your favorite veggies for a high-fiber, protein-packed meal. Now, let's talk about the unhealthy preparations because, chicken, like most things, there's a whole other coin here, right? Although chicken can certainly fit into a healthy diet, some types are loaded with extra calories, fat, or sodium. Here are a few types of chicken that you should limit or avoid. Number one on this list would be fried chicken. Many people find it tasty, but truly fried chicken is usually going to be a disaster. It's unfortunate. Because it's typically deep fried and breaded, fried chicken is usually high in calories, carbs, and unhealthy fats. Now, rotisserie chicken. I think this one's kind of controversial. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments. Rotisserie chicken, it turns out, is often heavily brined. That means that it's going to be soaked for hours in salt water, right? So store-bought rotisserie chicken is generally brined, meaning it's soaked in salt water for hours. And heavily seasoned, might be seasoned with some seasonings that are appetite inducers, and so you might find you want to eat more than you ordinarily would enjoy. So notice how you feel and read the labels to see if they've added a ton of salt or not there, or ask the people at the store if they soak it in a brine bath or a brine solution before they put it on the rotisserie to cook it. Now, all of this can significantly increase the amount of sodium in the final product. If you're making your own rotisserie chicken at home, you're in control, so therefore you don't have to brine it. You can put on your amazing seasonings and you're going to be fine. So that's the thing to know about rotisserie chicken, okay? If it's made in a store, it might have a ton of added salt. And then finally, lunch meat made from chicken. Processed meats, including chicken lunch meats, are often pumped full of added sodium and unhealthy preservatives to extend their shelf life. So while it might be more profitable for the manufacturer and it lives longer on the shelf, it could be damaging to your health. So be aware, be informed. Now, allergies. Okay, we're talking about chicken. Poultry allergies in general are rare, but they are certainly possible. Doctors suggest that an allergy to poultry is about as common as an allergy to red meat. It's really uncommon, but being allergic to one kind of meat does not mean that you will be allergic to other meats. Sometimes people with an egg allergy, for instance, will have a secondary allergy to poultry. In this kind of allergy, reactions usually happen when coming into contact with raw meat and not consuming cooked meat. Right? Adverse effects. People with kidney disease need to be cautious about consuming too much protein, especially in large portions. If you have kidney disease, talk to your healthcare provider about the best protein sources and amounts for you. All right, friends, what are your thoughts? I'd love to hear from you in the comments below. If you find this video helpful, please like this video and subscribe to the channel. This way you can help me grow this channel and reach others with this information. Thank you so much. Please take great care of yourself. Self-care is not selfish.